For e-commerce brands, the most important thing you can do is to truly understand your customers, what they think, what they want, and why they buy. And the best way to do this is with surveys. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the 4 surveys that every e-commerce brand should be running and the questions you should ask inside them so you can get those answers from your customers. How's it going? I'm Ben Fitterman. I run Pink Lava Studios. We're an email and retention marketing agency. I've been doing this for the last 7 years, worked with over 70 different brands. This is the first video in a series on how to create surveys for e-commerce brands. We got a lot to get into, so let's get started. All right, so let's talk about why surveys matter. So the secret to good marketing really comes down to 2 principles. It's knowing your product, what your product does, and then knowing your market, basically why people buy. What's their desires? What are their objections? Things like that. And what I've found in my experience is that a lot of e-commerce brands, founders, they really know number one well. They know their product. They've developed it. They've seen people interacting with it. They've gotten reviews. So they understand the product and how it serves people. The second one, knowing their market, is where a lot of people struggle. You get positive reviews, you might get negative reviews, but sometimes it's hard to understand why someone buys, why they didn't buy, why they keep coming back unless you ask them. So the best way to do this, again, is with surveys. And what we want to do is automate this process and put surveys in very specific critical life cycle moments so we can try to understand the thoughts that people have right at that moment so we can use it to improve our messaging for your copywriting, whether it's your Facebook ads, Google ads, email marketing, SMS. So here are the 4 surveys that we want to put live and the different life cycle stages that they're in. So the first one is prospects. And basically we're trying to understand, why didn't you buy? The second one is for new customers. Why did you buy? The third one is churned customers. Why didn't you buy again? Why didn't you come back and place a second order? And the fourth one is for VIP customers. Why do you love us? Those are the 4 big stages that you really want to get some critical information and zero-party data from your customers. So the first survey, it's prospects. Why didn't you buy? I send this 30 to 45 days after someone has joined the email list, but they haven't bought yet. So I ask them 2 questions. Why didn't you buy? What are you going to buy instead? Here, what we're trying to do is flesh out any objections or questions that stop them from buying. And you're going to see a lot of them is going to be about pricing, but you're also going to get a lot of valuable insights that you can address in your welcome series and checkout abandon and paid ads. So it might be questions people have. I'm curious about the supplement. How does it work? How long does it take? Things like that. This is really to try to get objections and understand what stops someone so that you can address that in your top of funnel advertising and emails, like a welcome series or campaigns like that. The second survey is for new customers. We're asking them, why did they buy? And we send this almost immediately after a customer buys for the first time. Usually I like to send it maybe within 30 minutes to an hour, because I really want to catch them in that emotional kind of like dopamine state. Because right after you buy something, there's like that little kind of high that people get. If you wait like a week after they bought something, they're out of that emotional state and we're not going to get these kind of raw answers that we really want. So I would send this within the first like 30 minutes that someone buys to an hour at the latest. The 4 questions we're going to ask them are, what motivated you to finally make this purchase? Is there a specific goal you're hoping to achieve? Before you placed the order, was there anything you were unsure about? If you feel comfortable, tell us a little bit about yourself. I always make these surveys open-ended because we want to get the exact language that people are using so we can give that to AI. We can understand how people are, or how our market is speaking. And with these questions, we're trying to get, what was that last kind of decision? Was it the sale? Was it maybe they saw one of your YouTube ads? Maybe a friend mentioned something to them about like losing weight and that kind of inspired them. Sometimes you get some surface level answers, but often you'll get some very deep reasons that people don't usually share with you. And you can, again, use that in your marketing. Specific goal, that's really trying to flush out any desires that people are going to get from your product or your products. And then before you place your order, was there something you're unsure about? Here, we're trying to get any objections or questions because this person maybe didn't get that first survey that we sent out to prospects. I make this one optional. We just want to get some information. Sometimes people might share demographic information. And again, the goal is really getting desires, objections, and then the big outcomes that people want so you can adjust your messaging around that. Survey 3, churn customers. Why didn't you buy again? So we send this to first-time customers who haven't placed a second order in the last 3 to 6 months. The timing really depends on what you're selling and what your churn risk window looks like. So you kind of got to salt to pepper to taste on this one. What I mean by that is if you're selling bikes, the chance that someone comes back and buys a second bike in 3 months is going to be extremely low. But if we're in kind of the space where it's a consumable product or there's a natural repeat cycle like apparel, supplements, food and beverage, you want to look at your data and see when most people come back. So if most people are coming back for the second purchase by month 3, and then I'll usually wait 1 or 2 months after that, so month 5 or 6, and then you can send this survey. You don't want to wait too long because then they'll start to become unengaged. They might ignore your emails, they might unsubscribe. So the timing is very critical on this one. We're just going to ask them 2 questions. What's the main reason you haven't placed another order yet? What would make you more likely to buy again? And the goal here is really just to see, are there any gaps in the product and customer experience? And then you can take this and you can see if there's any complaints or things like that. And it's helpful to go through this with your customer service team together to see if you can find patterns. So a lot of these are going to be angry customers, but you're also going to get some other reasons too. Really, the goal is to just see, are there any gaps in the product and customer experience and how can we improve on that? The 4th survey, this is a fun one. This is for VIP customers. Why do you love us? So I send this to VIP customers right after they've made another purchase. I usually go with the placed order is 3 or more. And we're looking for customers that clearly love your brand and love the product. So for the timing on this, we want to send this within, I'd say 30 minutes of the purchase that pushes them into this VIP segment. So it's order 3 or 4, whatever. And you could just send it as a plain text email from the founder. These are the 4 questions we're going to ask. Are there any products that you'd love to see us make? What keeps you coming back to us? What do you love most about our products? What could we improve to make our products or experience even better? So deeper on these questions, are there any products you'd love to see us make? This is the most important question you can ask because you already have people buying from you. They love you. They're going to tell you exactly what they want to buy from you. And when it comes to retention marketing, the single biggest lever you can pull to increase LTV and getting people to come back and buying again is with new products. And this question will shortcut that process because you're going to know exactly what people want. And then you can go back and sell it to these VIP customers to test, and then you can expand it out from there. Same with the next question. What do you love most about our products? We're just trying to understand what they love about us so we can use that for high-level messaging and like social proof as well. Last one, how could we improve our products or make the experience even better? They're going to tell you what they can improve. And that's really the goal for this, is to get ideas for new products and then see how you can improve. All right, so in this video, we saw the 4 surveys that every e-commerce brand should run and the questions you should ask inside them. Again, this is really going to help you to understand what your customers want, what they're thinking, why they buy, and give you a lot of powerful insights that you can use to improve your copywriting, your messaging, and even use it to train your own AI models so they really understand your customers. If this video brought you any value, it'd be awesome if you could click like or subscribe. That lets me know to keep making great free content like this. If you have any questions or need help with your email marketing, be sure to reach out. This is the first video that we're doing in a series about surveys for e-commerce brands. You can find the rest of the videos in the playlist here. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.